Hey everyone, and welcome back to my last project of the weekend. Thanks for everyone who's joined in. Let me just make sure my iPad is behaving itself. Yep, it is. So, my last card of the weekend is this little number here. I'll just explain to you in a minute why. Well, it was actually a different card. When I realised that I was going to be able to go live this weekend, I actually quickly swapped out the card that I was going to use and put together this little number. It's actually a Pinterest bit of a Pinterest combination of several cards that I found when I looked. I'm not actually naturally artistic, and when people say to me that they can't do card making because they're not very artistic, I don't laugh, that would be rude, but I basically point out the fact that you don't have to be, because there are so many ideas, there are so many wonderful products here, and there's so many pictures that you can look at. And let's face it, Stampin' Up demonstrators and people who create cards don't mind being copied. In fact, they love it so much that they gave it a whole new name. It's called Copy and Share Everything, and we call it case. And so what you see sometimes when I do a video, I'll put card cased from such and such. So this one, so people really don't mind if you copy their cards, as long as you give them a little bit of credit for it. So this one, it's as I say, it's a combination of several cards that I saw on Pinterest when I was going for a little bit of a cruise yesterday, and it was actually put together by the Stampin' Up artisan team. And so what actually happens is they have a team of demonstrators every year, and they put them together in a team, and they go ahead with all the new products and put together some examples and designs for the rest of us to be inspired by. So basically I was inspired by 3 or 4 different cards when I popped this one together. I'm just going to make sure I'm keeping up with my comments. Hello everyone who's watching. Lisa has to leave and watch. Okay, no, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Oh no, you had to leave watching Michelle's replay. Oh well, I'm glad you joined us. So anyway, you can come back and watch the replays later. Okay, so as I say, this is a bit of a combination card, and I really actually like it. You know, what we were talking about this morning with me not normally being a layery person, I'm actually sort of, both cards I've done today have both been like feminine layery sort of cards. So anyway, you change, and your tastes change as you get older, I suppose. Anyway, so this card uses just about everything from the suite. I've got the ribbon there, and as you can tell, this bit of here is annoying me. So I'm going to have to pop a little bit of I'll put a glue dot under that to stop it from sticking up. It's annoying me a lot. So anyway, but pretend that's there, sort of gracefully and nonchalantly where it's supposed to be. It's got, I've used the embossing folder, which you can see behind here. There's a whole panel of the embossing. The embossing folder is really nice. I didn't think I was going to like it to start with, to be honest. I mean, people who watch me know that I'm honest. But once you see it, and in the background of things, it's really quite pretty. And I thought it was going to be too fussy for me, but it's really quite nice when you have to soften it a bit with other things, I think. That's my taste. I'm using the beautiful gold embossed designer series paper behind there, and it's building up with lots and lots of layers. Okay, so I'll show you basically how I've done this one, and I've got a little bit of gold accent in there as well, where I've used one of the ornate layer dies also. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, so as usual, I've got everything cut and scored, so you don't have to sit and watch me. And I don't think this is going to be a very long video at all, because although it looks like a fancy card, it is quite simple once you've got everything cut and scored and embossed. Okay, so I've got my normal Whisper White thick card base. I really suggest, if you're doing card making, that you buy the thick card bases. They're just a lot more sturdy than the normal Whisper White. I don't know, that's probably, I probably can't show you, but anyway, they do hold up the structure of them a lot a lot more than just the normal cardstock. So I've got that normal Whisper White, 1.1 1/4 and by 5 3/4 and scored in the middle. Okay, so we'll put that aside for a minute, we just don't need it straight away. I have a piece of the Designer Series paper, so this one, as I say, has the beautiful gold on one side and it has the beautiful sort of little, I suppose a terracotta tile sort of, what I was calling this morning forget-me-nots, but in that sort of colours they look like little daisies. So that's on the other side. I'm going to be using that side of the main one. So that piece of Whisper White I think is a good centimetre smaller than the card base. So because I want to, again, Michelle and I seem to want to be turning things on their sides today, I'm going to move that slightly off straight, so I needed it to be slightly smaller than my card base. And then I've got another piece of Whisper White, and this is the one that I've put through the embossing folder, so I've popped that through so you guys don't have to watch my table wobble around all over the place while I do that. So as I say, I didn't think I was going to like this one, but yeah, it's growing on me. So that's going to pop on the card base or over the top of the Designer Series paper and come back at the other angle. Okay, then I have from this one we've used a couple of times. I think this is going to be my favourite, to be honest. This is the other side of our Designer Series paper. So that's the other side, and I've popped it through that same die that I used for both my previous card this morning and the little bookmarks that I made yesterday. So this one here, so that there. So I've popped that through there just to get that shape. What else have I got? I've got another piece of Whisper White that I've popped through yet another of the dies. Look, there's so many beautiful dies in this one. I mean, you know, if you count the value by the number of dies, you've got so many here, and they are just, you can see them quite nicely against my little magnet there. They're just sort of whole card size right through to these tiny little ones, and these ones are so cute. They actually just cut out like a relief of the paper, so you actually get to see the shape through the paper. I might show you how to do that soon. And then we've got these other ones here which are more longer rectangle, but they're all just beautiful. So yeah, so there's 8 dies in that pack, which is pretty good value. So I've got this smaller ornate rectangle and a couple of other bits and bobs which I'll bring in as we go. Yes, we are the angle girls today, Michelle. I was wondering whether we can, maybe I can't. I know there's a thing with some lives that you can bring people on camera with you, and I thought maybe we could finish off together, but we'll see how we go. I don't think I can with this. Okay, so I'm just going to start popping layers down. As I say, this is going to be a pretty quick one because I have done all the cutting already. So just popping this one down at a slight angle. Just there, not too much to cause people traumas, but just a little bit. There we go. So we've got that one there. Then I'm going to bring in my embossed panel. Excuse me, I've got itchy nose. So I was very pleased to see not long ago that the council workers packed up and took their utes and went. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to expect if they'd stayed any longer. They were just young guys, and young guys tend to use, I don't know if you guys notice it, sort of some young people tend to use the expletives as just part of their language, so I was a little bit worried that you would think it was one of mine that were going for it outside the window. Okay, so then I'm going to do even more angles now. I'm going to bring this this other little Designer Series paper rectangle, I'm going to bring that in at an angle, something like that, and then I'm going to trim away so that all you see is this panel here. Yeah, so, and in my other one actually I think I put it too high, so I'm going to bring it down a little bit and use a little bit more of the paper. So there's one there, and I'm going to use double-sided tape here, just because it's going onto a fairly deep patterned embossed panel. So pleased that everyone joined us today. I was really not too I was a little bit sad and disappointed when everything went horrible yesterday, but today's worked a lot better, and you know, it's worked out really well. So hopefully we will have something again in the future. So please like our business pages, Michelle and I, and you will know if we plan any more workshops in the future. So there we are. I've attached that one down there and just firmed it down. So now what I'm going to do is just bring, I'm just going to use my scissors actually, rather than bring a trimmer in camera. Where's my scissors? Here. Just use my amazing new scissors and just trim it off with the edge of the card. And there, that little end piece, you could use it, keep it aside and use it for our scrappy strip technique that we did yesterday with our bookmarks. Never throw anything away now. We know how to use them. So there we are. We have that panel coming in there, which looks a bit weird, doesn't it, on its own? It looks a bit strange, but anyway, when we bring this one in here, we actually sort of cover it over a little bit and add a little bit of a layer of something pretty special. Okay, so that one's going to go straight over the top there. As I say, this is a pretty quick card, this one. I did actually do a previous fourth card, which is the one I swapped out when I decided I was going to go live, so I didn't have to stick with what I'd planned. And I will actually pop that video up for you guys to have a look at. It's a very nice card, don't get me wrong, but I was never quite happy with the way it turned out, so I'm really pleased that I was able to bring you this one instead. So we've got that one there, so that's layering up pretty nicely now. So not very much to do now, so I do have some other little bits and pieces. I've got another piece of Whisper White, which is just a little box, and I'm going to just put this tiny little piece of designer series paper on it. It's basically the same size as the designer series paper, tiniest little border. I'm just attaching it to that because I want to put it on to dimensionals just to give it a bit of height, and the paper might be a little bit flimsy to sort of stand up on dimensionals on its own. So I've just put a little tiny piece of Whisper White to back it with. Now that, I'm going to tell you the measurements of that little piece just so you'll know. Bear with me. That is 6.5 centimetres by 3. And now I don't even know what that is in inches, but I basically, again, like with the previous card, I've measured it so it fits perfectly in that little blank space inside there. So what I'm going to do is basically pop that up on dimensionals. Just a couple. I don't have to do too many. And pop it on there. So now I've got this one. It's a different paper again, but I like the way it brings the green from the base through to the top. So it's like, yeah, it's not all red and it's not all pink, and it brings through some of the green as well, which is, I really like green as well as blue. Maybe I should have been a boy. Anyway, so that's that there. Now, what's next? Okay, so I now have a little stitched rectangle and a tiny piece of champagne gold foil. So this is just the tiniest piece of champagne gold foil, and what I have done is I've used the border from the Ornate borders. So just this little one here, just a little one there, just popped some gold foil through my Big Shot and just trimmed it down. So basically it's just got, all I'm using is that little lacy edge there. What I'm going to do is just move my card out of the way. I'm going to stamp this tiny little, now this is from the Stitched Rectangles die set, so it's not actually from the Ornate Garden Suite, it's from the Stitched Rectangle stamp set, die set, and I'm going to stamp it with Thanks, which is just out of this Ornate Thanks stamp set. Just lock that up. Just do it in some black. Hopefully get it in the right spot. Where'd it go? You guys can probably see it, but I can't. Oh, where'd it go? There's my gold. Where did my little box go? I can hear you all go, it's behind you. I can't see it. I might have to cut another one. And then I'll find it later, won't I? Oh, I dropped it on the floor. Oh, Lord. Okay, bear with me for a minute. I'm going to cut myself another rectangle. Anyway, good chance to show you the stitched rectangle die set, which, if you, as I say, if you count your dies, number of dies as your value, this one is like the best value ever. Like it's got so many rectangles, whatever shape or size you want, you can got them there. So that one's got 13 dies in that one, so it's amazing. So just bear with me, I'm going to just cut myself another one. I bet you I'll find that one as soon as I finish. I'll wait this. So Lisa can't see it. No, maybe it's not behind me. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Here you go. Nice and easy to do another one. Some sort of pantomime, isn't it? Anyway, there we go. Another one's done. So I'm going to pop my thanks on. I might ink that again. And this time I'm going to change it slightly from the first one I did. I'm going to put it more to the left-hand end of this particular little box, just so I can position my ribbon more over the top of it than I could. Okay, so I've got my little thanks stamped there. Now I'm going to bring in just a tiny bit of double-sided tape and pop it on my little piece of champagne gold. That's going to bug me now. I'll probably find it attached to my jumper or something. It's always the way. I've got okay, this is a little quiz for anyone who has a fair few Stampin' Up stamps at home. Which stamp set does this little stamp come from? Okay. I won't say there's a prize for the winner, but there's a boasting rights for the winner. I found it under my shoe and I have no idea where it came from. So if anyone can tell me where this little flower belongs, oh, hang on, I've moved it so you can't see it. Anyway, this little flower comes, I would much appreciate it so I can find the stamp set to put it back on. So anyway, that's my trauma for the day. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, put that aside, is I'm going to pop that little piece of champagne gold just behind my sentiment box. There we go. So just there at that end there. And then bring our card back in. And just going to glue it just there. Just sort of slightly off centre. Everything today with this card is slightly off centre. Just slightly. Sort of going against my natural tendency to make things symmetrical and centered, outside my box a little bit, outside my comfort zone. Nobody knows where that stamp's from. I'm not going to have to open up every stamp set I've got and try and find where that little flower is. That would just be too much. Anyway, I don't want my husband to hear me say that. I have too many stamp sets to look at. He probably knows that already. Anyway, okay, so that's pretty much, this one pretty much done, so to speak. I'm going to add, and you'll be pleased to know I'm not as brave as Michelle. I have actually already tied my bow. Now it's actually a double bow. I thought with the first one that I liked the bow, but I thought maybe Thoughtful Blooms. Okay, thanks Annette, I'll have a bit of a look. let you know if you're right. I've got a double bow, so I've got double of the old olive ribbon that comes with the suite, so I tied it doubles. You had that stamp set out too. Beautiful bouquet. Oh gosh. Anyway, so I've got that tied doubly. I have got huge legs there, don't worry. I'm not going to be keeping the whole length of that. I just wanted to make sure I had enough because I did want it quite long. So I'm going to pop that just there so you can see why I have actually stamped my thanks more to the left hand end, because I did want to pop that ribbon pretty much right on that little bit there, just so I didn't want it to take too much of my sentiment away. I'm just going to pop that onto the card with an ink dot. Ink dots are awesome too, guys. If anyone who hasn't seen ink dots, they are really good. So you can get the gluing effect on embellishments and stuff like that, and not have to worry too much about getting glue everywhere. And given that you haven't seen my video, the video that I took with this, no, not this one, the video that I recorded with, I think, the card before last, I had a major glue explosion. I had glue everywhere and it was all on camera, and things were sticking to my hands. It was like I had Velcro on my hands. Things were sticking to me. So I'm sort of glad I didn't get to show you that video. But I was so far through that I basically thought, nah, damn it, you guys can see that warts and all, but didn't have to. That was really good. But I will probably put it up on my YouTube channel, so if you want to see a glue explosion, I suggest you pop over onto my YouTube channel and check it out. It was sort of like the blooper track. Anyway, so I'm just trimming this piece of ribbon back down a little bit. Like I said, I didn't want to keep it really long, because I think it's just such lovely ribbon. Okay, so there we are. That's mostly done. I'm going to put the bling on as well, because it's not a proper card if it hasn't got bling. So I'm going to use the gilded gems again. Some would say, Michelle, that there's a theme to our workshop this weekend. Can't tell what it was. Anyway, so I'm going to use the gems. I'm going to use the big one. I don't usually use the big ones, but I'm going to in this case. I'm going to pop one up here, and then I'm going to pop a medium-sized one down here, and a small one as well, just next to it. It seems to be most people, and I don't know why this is, maybe someone else has got a theory. When they put embellishment on things, they always seem to be in odd numbers. Like you find people put 1 or 3 or 5. Very rarely would they put 2 or 4 or 6. I don't know. Is that a psychological thing maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's good luck or bad luck the other way. Anyway, that's just something I've noticed watching videos. Okay, so that is the front of that card done. I hope you like that one. I think that's quite nice. I love that ribbon. I'm going to have to buy a whole room full of that ribbon. I think it's lovely. And because it's in my favourite colour, which is really, really good. Okay, so I'm going to, no nudie, what was it you said today, Michelle? No nudie runs. Nudie runs. It's what the kids used to do from the bathroom to their bedrooms after they'd had a bath. So no nudie runs today. I'm going to put something on the inside. You like 2 only? Oh, there you go. Maybe it's just me. I am a bit obsessed with numbers. I am mathematically. Previous life I actually did mathematics. Going to do something inside. What are we going to do? There we go. We've got thanks on the outside. So thanks from the bottom of my heart. How about that? That's nice. I did have to apologise to Michelle offline after dumping her in it with the card giveaway in my previous video. I am going to send you all, the first 2 customers, I will send you every card that I've made, as well as the card kit so you can make your own. but I hadn't told Michelle beforehand I was going to do that, so it sort of just popped out of my mouth, and I hadn't cleared it with my partner first, so I think I apologised for that, because it was like I was trying to undercut her, but I wasn't. Okay, so from the bottom of my heart, I'm going to pop that just down the bottom. We might as well do everything slightly different with this card. I'm going to pop that down the bottom, so from the bottom of my heart, and I might just leave that. It's not nude, it's not overly dressed, but it's not nude. The flower isn't from that second release celebration that had the round windows and the little flower. Oh, Lisa, you could be right. No nudie cards or nudie runs. No, definitely no nudie runs. Especially now that my boys are in their 20s, we definitely don't want nudie runs anymore. Was cute, not anymore. Okay, so there we go. That's my last card. But yes, yeah, we might have to give them like 20 cards, Michelle, just to sort of clear a bit of our stash. Okay, so there is my last card for the weekend. Finally done. No more of my silly jokes. There we are. So that one's got the single ribbon with the bit that's annoying me. I'm going to pop that there because it's going to annoy me forever. Just going to pop a glue dot on the back of that. And pop it where it should be, so I don't have to worry about it. There we go. No one will tell. And so I've got the one with the double ribbon as well. And you can see I've brought that sort of flowered panel down a little bit further. I think I like that a much more. It sort of takes up a bit of the space that is there. So I like that one. So if you the first person to buy from me will get this one, and the second person to buy from me will get this one. So there you go. So there is some benefit in being first. And I'll show you the card that I'm going to pop the video up, but I'm not. I didn't decide to do. Just pop those aside. That's this one. So as I say, I do have the video, and I do have the instructions and the list to all the products ready to pop up. It's this one here. It's nice, it's lovely, and don't get me wrong, but I just, it was quite complicated and fiddly, and I wasn't really happy with the video. So, and there's about 30 seconds of dead air at the end of the video, which I was even less unhappy with, and the fact that I had a major glue explosion. It was here, on this bit here. There's a major, that sticky still, major glue explosion during the video, which was too far gone to stop. So I will pop this one up. This is was going to be my last card for the weekend, but as I say, I swapped into this one. So I'll pop this one up, and if you do buy from me, I'll add these cards to the pack as well. So you will get five made cards. If the first two people to buy from me will get one of each. Maybe the second one will get the one that had the glue explosion on it. So that's the end of my videos for the weekend. I'm so glad I went live these last two videos. The watch parties unfortunately didn't live up to their promise. If you do buy from me this weekend, please go to that website. Please use that host code so I know that you bought as a result of the workshop, and I'll send you all your freebies. Just a reminder, the freebies for the weekend are the card kits for the 4 cards, a pack of basic rhinestones, and now that I've added the final made cards as well to that little giveaway. Thanks so much, guys, for joining in. So thanks heaps. Keep an eye out for future workshops and classes that Michelle and I do. Just a bit of a reminder, I do classes by mail. I haven't got one designed for the Ornate Gardens. I think I'm going to have a little break from that for a while, but I do have a couple coming up in May using the Timeless Tropical and the Forever Blossoms, which are still current in the catalogue, and very different stamp sets. So you know, they'll hopefully there'll be something there that appeals to you. But anyway, thanks so much. Please, if you have any questions, I'll hang around while everybody is signing off, so I'll hang around till everyone's gone. And if you have any questions, Michelle and I will monitor the group tomorrow. We haven't actually got any videos planned, but we will hang around watch the group, so if anyone's got any questions, please put a post on there or share creations that you've been inspired to make. We would really love to see what you guys come up with after watching our workshop. Anyway, but we will keep the workshop open for a couple of weeks just so you can come back and check any replays that you may have missed, check any of the products that you may be interested in buying, and you know, we'll be there, you know, and then we'll close it after a couple of weeks and be ready for the next one in a few months probably. So take care everyone, keep safe, don't go too crazy with the isolation, and I will see you all next time. Thanks. Go on, you can all go now. I'm not going to do anything exciting. I'm cleaning my stamps.